Today we're going to be looking at the Fujifilm X-A5, the new mirrorless camera that was released at the end of January. So this is a fairly large upgrade for me. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to upgrade from using my camera, or my phone I should say, at 1080p 60 frames a second, and I'm going to try to see what the difference is with using something like this, the Fuji X-A5. So the X-A5, the reason why I went after this as a camera option, why I'm looking at this, is because it offers 1080p video, which is primarily what I'm doing, but it also offers a much more capable video form than I'm getting off my cell phone. So my cell phone, it's very basic, right? So everything in the background is very, it's not going to be out of focus. You're not going to get that nice blur that you're going to get off of something like a dedicated camera. So that's what I'm going to be testing. I'm going to see what the difference looks like. I have looked at a couple other things like the Canon M100, the Canon G7 Mark II, a couple of those other types of cameras. I even had a Canon SL2 that I tested as well, and I really didn't like how they looked compared to my camera. It wasn't worth the upgrade. So I want to see if this one is going to be worth the upgrade. It has a bigger sensor in it, so hopefully I'll be able to get a bit of a difference in the image quality. At the end of the video, I will do a recording with the Fuji. The first thing I'm going to say about this unboxing is anybody who's ever tried to record anything off their phone, they know the struggle for this. So trying to set up a tripod and trying to set everything up so that I can actually see what's going on here, and hopefully this works out really well, you guys. But this is the kind of workaround that I'm trying to get away from. Let's get to the unboxing here. So in Canada, the Fuji was released January 31st, I believe. It was in stores on the 8th. I was able to find one in Calgary yesterday. So I'm recording this on the 16th. I picked this up on the 15th. You have your standard paperwork and books, which everyone's seen before. You have your kit lens, 15 to 45 millimeter. f3.5 to 6.5. Right, so there's the lens. Everything on autofocus and focus for the camera is actually electronic. So when you turn the ring left or right to be able to zoom in or out, you'll actually get an auto zoom in and out with it. It's a mechanical zoom, which is just fairly nice. So let's put this aside for a second. Here's the actual camera body. Put that to the side. In the rest of the box, you have all of your accessories, right? So you have your wall port, your USB to wall adapter, so you can charge the battery. You have your North America plug, which simply just slides right on in there, like that. You have a USB to micro USB cable, which plugs into the wall charger and is used to charge the camera while the battery's in it, which I like this because the M100 I was looking at, you actually had to take the camera off the tripod every time after recording so you could recharge the battery, because the battery had to be put into the wall socket that came with the camera. So I like that you can charge the camera in the wall, or while it's still on the tripod. You have a battery. The battery for this is actually it's a large battery, so it's a large capacity battery. It's rated to get you roughly 400 pictures per charge, where the M100, as an example, was getting 250 or so pictures per charge. So quite a bit more capacity on this battery. And then you have the neck strap, which I'm not going to put on because I'm going to be mostly using video for this, or this camera for video. I'll put everything away quick and I'll grab the body here. So this is why I've got the paper here, so I don't lose my space. So here's the camera itself. On the back, you have a nice 3mm or 3-inch display. It's high def display, so it works very, very well. It looks really good from everything that I've seen. So let's put this together and we'll fire it up. So you simply line up the red mark there with the red mark here and fire it up. Throw a battery in. And then, so when I turn this thing on, you'll hear it. Right, so you can hear and you can see you see the shutter going in and out, right? So this is the electronic zoom that I was talking about. When you zoom in and you zoom out, it'll actually focus through electronic means, so you're not twisting all day. And then you have a rotate cuff on the outside for finer adjustments and finer movement. You have your standard very standard switches, right? So on this, compared to the M100, I'm going to talk about the M100 a lot on comparison. The M100 is very, very basic. It just has camera, film, and auto. And then it has a shutter button and a scroll wheel with the shutter button, so you can change a couple settings. The Fuji on a comparison, so it's 100 and, well, it's actually very comparable at regular price. Right now, the M100 is $600 in Canada, and this is $750. So it's $150 more. You get a lot of customizability though. So you get a lot of preset options. You get a lot of quick change options, so you can actually switch between modes if you're using this outside or you're using this for different uses. You have quick adjust toggles here, and you have another quick adjust toggle here. And actually another thing that this is really nice for is that you have a shoe here that you can put microphone or an external microphone on, or an external flash. So it gives you a lot more capability than the M100. On the side here under this cover, you have a 3.5 or 3mm headphone jack, so you can plug in the external mic. You have a pop-up flash, which I never really plan to use because I'm in a fairly well lit room. You have all your standard buttons for Fuji. Nice 3mm screen on the back here. And this screen is something that I'm actually really a big fan of because it is fully articulated. So it flips all the way up, so when you're recording, you can see what you're doing, you can see what you're recording with, and you can touch to focus. So you can see my which is very, very nice. And in that screen, you can see my camera here. That's what or my phone. That's what I've been using for the last little bit. So I'm really looking forward to having this this as an option. Now, one of the things I just noticed on this that I'm not a huge fan of is when you flip the screen up. So on the back here, you have exposure here with this wire. Now, I don't know if that is because it has to be flexible to be able to pull up and down. But I know when I was looking at the M100, it's a one-piece construction that you just flip up the screen. It doesn't go up and down, so there's no exposed wire. I don't know if this is going to be something that I'm going to be worried about in the future as a breakpoint, but for right now, it looks pretty damn good. Like it looks pretty good, and I'll keep an eye on that. But you also have articulation to about 30 degrees or 45 degrees or so. So if you're doing overhead shots, right, you can get some viewpoint here from an overhead perspective, instead of having to be trying to stand well over top of it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set this up. I'm going to put an SD card in it, and I'm going to set it up for some video recordings. And I will be back with this camera, so you can see the difference between earlier on when I was recording or showing myself on the cell phone and what it looks like on this camera. So I'll be right back, and we'll see the difference. We're back, and now I'm on the Fuji. So this will be able to show you the difference between, hopefully, the camera that I was using earlier, or the cell phone I was using earlier at 1080p 60 frames a second, and what this looks like at 1080p 60 frames a second. So I am zoomed in a little bit right now. I have the ability to zoom in quite a bit further or zoom out depending on what I'm looking for. I don't want so much background in the picture, so that's why I'm zooming in just a touch. And you have pretty good control with the good control on the zoom with this lens, which is nice. And being able to see myself and know that I'm recording what I want to record it's magical. But anyways, guys, thank you. Hopefully you enjoyed the unboxing, and I'll be back in a week or two with a further review on the Fuji X-A5.